Hi guys, this is Klazart being an audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on the World Cyber Games Korean Qualifiers 2009 Round of 16 Game 2 between Bisu and Free. And Free has broken free of the shackles of the Protoss dominant star Bisu in Game 1, delivering an emphatic victory. That was a confident performance and calculated and efficient performance from Free. I have to say I'm quite impressed. He did everything right that he needed to do. He took the chance of going for, in my opinion, perhaps a slightly riskier option. I feel that expanding was probably the safer bet at that point. Expand, defend, build up your economy. That was probably the safer bet, which is probably what Bisu went for. And I felt that Free went for the more dangerous option in that matchup, going for the early pressure, knowing that he only had a brief window of time to make it count, and that if he didn't, he would have lost the game. Although I guess it can also be argued, I'm arguing against myself here, but it can also be argued that Free went for the safer build because he knew no matter what happened, either way, he would have an army, one way or the other. And this is one of those moments, guys, where I really wish I understood Korean. I just love to know who was the player digging their nose. I presume it's a caricature of a player digging their nose, and which was the player breathing fire out of their nostrils. That would be huge. I would love to know that. But yeah, Free did a great performance in Game 1, and, you know, it's debatable. I have to ask the question, which of the players went for the more defensive strategy in Game 1? Was it Free or Bisu? Both players now putting their gateways down, it looks like. Bisu, I think, has sent his scout out. Free, I'm not sure if he sent his scout out just yet. The Korean fangirls, I gotta say, they crack me up every single time. I just think it's so adorable. Anyway, Bisu's probe is a little bit ahead of Free's probe. Not that it's going to make any difference in this game. Both players are going to get their scouts into each other's bases, I'm sure. I don't think either player is going to be able to block that. Assimilator going down for Free and Bisu as well. So both players starting out with very similar builds to last game. It'll be interesting to see, guys, this time, if Bisu once again goes for the expansion to start off with, or whether he tries to go for a slightly less expansionist strategy, considering how he found himself caught off guard by Free last time around, whether Bisu decides to do something. And it would be interesting to see whether Free decides to once again be adventurous, or whether he decides to go a slightly safer route and put that expansion down first himself this time and try and take Bisu out in a standard game. That'll be interesting to see which of the two players opts for that, and how losing in the fashion that he did in the previous game, how that has affected Bisu's psychology. I think Bisu, he's just played so many StarCraft matches that I don't think he's going to be phased by anything. I think he's one of the players who you can never really count him out. But getting that win for Free was absolutely huge. But I've got to ask you guys what your opinion is on this issue. What do you guys think was the more defensive strategy? The more defensive, and both players putting their cybernetics cores down. So again, virtually identical builds and virtually identical start to the previous game. This, of course, is on destination. Slightly longer map distances do play into the gameplay of this map. But what do you guys? I mean, do you guys feel that it was more safe of Bisu, perhaps? Perhaps Bisu went for the safer option, putting that expansion down, feeling just hold his defense and wait for the economy to kick in. Was Free's choice of strategy more adventurous in that he hoped to catch Bisu off guard? He was committing himself to that one attack where he really needed to do a lot of damage, and if he wasn't going to win at that point, he would then be behind and not be able to overcome in the game. I feel both strategies are equally standard. Both have their merits, although Free win the Manor Pylon in Bisu's main. Bisu already having a couple of Zealots out, and Free just doing a little bit of harass there, not throwing away any trick, not willing to discard any weapon from his arsenal. He will use nukes if he has to. He will use biological and chemical weapons. He doesn't care, even though Protoss, I'm sure, are immune to biological and chemical weapons because they are robotic. But yeah, so yeah, I have to ask that question: which of the players' strategies or choice of build was the more defensive one? That is something. And Free with the Citadel of Adon, guys. Free with the Citadel. This is obviously different. We might be seeing DTs from Free here. We might be seeing a DT rush. Bisu obviously going down with that robotics facility. Bisu, and that is interesting. Bisu's put that robotics facility down. Free's put the Citadel. It will be interesting to see if Free follows that up with a DT rush. Whether he follows out with Templar Archives. Whether he decides to. I don't think a drop would be viable. I don't think he would have time to put that drop down. The Citadel is complete. It'll be interesting whether he puts no Templar Archives so far for Free. Bisu with that robotics facility, and this is going to come down to whether or not Bisu puts that observatory down after that robotics facility. And now, yep, Free going for a DT rush, guys. This is huge. Free with a DT rush. Once again, I feel the adventurous option, trying to deliver one sort of timing attack that, if successful, will cripple Bisu and give him a significant advantage to take the game. If not, of course, it will allow Bisu back into this matchup, back into this best-of-3 series, and it's all going to come down to, it's all in Bisu's Bisu's hands now, whether he has the sense, the game sense, to put down that observatory first, or whether he's going to put down that robotic support bay. If he puts down the robotic support bay, he's not going to have enough time to get those observers out. This is going to be critical here, folks. Bisu with the observatory. Bisu gets the observatory down, and that is going to be critical because that means he should have those observers out in time to defend against. And this is I have to ask you guys, what is Bisu's mindset here? He's put that expansion down. Is it because, okay, Free went for something adventurous against me last time, I was caught a little bit blindsided, I'm going to get the observers out first, and